Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. As I was planning out my outfits for the season ahead, one of the things I noticed was that my personal style has evolved quite a bit in the last year. So what I want to do in today's video is to show you how to update your style and make your clothes feel aligned to your personal style without having to buy anything new. If we're constantly trying to rebuild our wardrobe with every style change, it can quickly feel like a burden and it's just taking away all the fun from clothing and from style. So it's something I want to move away from and instead focus on restyling. Today I'm putting the spotlight on 10 items of clothing, some of which I've had for 2, 3, 4 years, and restyling it in a way that suits my style today. Let's get started with the video and go to outfit number 1. I'm going to start with this green Mario knit from Cezanne because I've had it for a while now, since 2018. One way I styled it was when I was actually traveling in Santorini, which feels like a lifetime ago. It was a travel wardrobe, so I didn't have that many pieces to choose from, but that being considered, the outfit is still very confusing when it comes to the color palettes. The first thing I would do to make this outfit feel more aligned with my personal style today is that I would fix up the color palette and make it feel a little bit more cohesive. One of the things I've done this year in my personal style is to really focus a lot more on how I wear colors and to focus on which colors look best together. I took out the pink bag and I added a green option instead. After making this change, I still wasn't really feeling the outfit and there was something about it that just felt a little bit boring. So what I did then was that I started to play around with the silhouettes. I undid a few buttons and took off the knit on the inside and tucked it into a pair of wider jeans. The change in silhouette and shape of the trousers especially is what made it feel more like my personal style today compared to when I wore this outfit 2 years ago. So in this outfit there were 2 ways that I updated the look without buying anything new, and the first thing is the color palette. I decided just to pair it back to blue-green and then black, if you want to even consider that a color. The second thing I did was to update the silhouette, and instead of going for a more slim kind of look, I decided to go for something that was a bit wider, a little bit more modern in the silhouette, and that has been a big style change for me over the last couple of years. Keep in mind in this video as I'm talking through it that I'm not always saying that the way I style it now is necessarily better than before, just that it's more aligned to how I feel like dressing right now. The second item is a brown coat from Mute by JL in 2019. I have a photo wearing this coat when I was in Portugal. I had a cashmere knit underneath with a few buttons. I had on my Chloe test bag and I don't quite remember the trousers, but we'll just focus on those elements. I find that when the outfit had the buttons and the hardware, the eye almost doesn't look immediately to the details on this coat because there are a few things competing with it. I decided to go for a black cashmere knit tucked into a pair of corduroy trousers. The 2 items from the base layer are both from Everlane about 2 or 3 years ago. They're very simple, and when we look at the outfit now, our eye immediately sees the details on the coat as opposed to being distracted by other things. And I find that in the last couple of years, I've moved away from trying to make every piece interesting and really think about the entire outfit instead and how things balance out. My third item is a 100% cashmere scarf from End of Stories. This is a really beautiful scarf. I feel so happy every time I pull it out and wear it, but there just hasn't been that many instances where I have done that. So in the outfit, I decided to put on my Cezanne Leontine knit, which I wear very often. I style it with a pair of black trousers, and this combination is something that I repeat all the time whenever I have nothing to wear. The reason why I chose this very simple outfit is that I feel like the scarf is just a beautiful but still subtle pop of color to what is a very basic look. And by adding this detail, I feel like it really elevates it, and it's also practical because it keeps me warm. I really like this simple look, so I thought I'll create another version where I have on the black knit tucked into a pair of blue jeans. Again, a very easy outfit that I would wear all the time. I draped the scarf over the top and I feel like it looks a bit more elegant with the scarf. As I'm doing this video, it's really clear to me, and probably to you guys as well, that A scarf like this, where it's 100% cashmere and very simple in the design, is just going to work with my style no matter where it goes. This is something that I want to keep in mind in the future when I do add something to my wardrobe, and just take into consideration that my style will change, and that's kind of inevitable, and just think about how these pieces might work as my style changes. In my fourth example, I'm styling the trench coat. I looked at how I styled the trench coat last year. I really like that outfit. That is absolutely something I would wear exactly the same today. So I decided to dig a little bit further, and I got to this outfit, which I'll pop up on the screen, where I'm wearing the blouse, which I really like. I'm wearing my APC bag, some jeans, and the trench. Separately, these are all pieces that I like, but when you put them all together, I'm just not sure if I still like this outfit. The reason why I wouldn't style it exactly in this way is that it doesn't feel cohesive. I feel like every piece is doing its own thing. It doesn't come together to be an outfit that feels complete. There is something so classic about a trench coat, and I think I want to really embrace that and just match it with other simple things in my wardrobe. So the first example, I'm wearing a white knit and then a pair of green trousers. The pair of green trousers that I use to style with the trench coat is actually about 3 to 4 years old. It's a very simple piece, and the knit is also more on the simple side other than those kind of chunkier buttons, and combined together I like the more classic vibe that this outfit creates. I gave another example where I style a striped knit tucked into a pair of simple trousers, and then I wear the trench coat over the top. In these two looks, I feel like they are a little bit more cohesive. They both give that city chic kind of look, where in the first outfit from a couple of years ago, I just wasn't sure what kind of vibe I was trying to go for, and it just didn't feel as complete and cohesive as an outfit compared to some of the ways I would wear it now. Next up, we have a bag, not a piece of clothing, and this is my APC bag, which I've had since 2018. One of the things I'm realizing with this bag lately is that it is much more of an autumn and winter bag. I should just stop trying to force it into spring and summer looks. I'll put up on the screen a look that I created for springtime. I really like the outfit, but most of the time when I put this with spring and summer outfits, it doesn't quite do the bag justice. It usually doesn't do the outfit justice, and I'm kind of just accepting the fact that I don't have to wear all my pieces year round. This can just be for that time of year. So that is the first change in the way I styled this bag, and the second change is that I'm starting to rethink what kind of color this is. I never really thought about it in terms of warm or cool before. I just kind of thought of it as, you know, dark red. But lately I've been thinking that maybe this is more of a cool tone shade. For me, it's like between neutral and cool. In the past, I've styled this bag a lot with camel and browns in my wardrobe because that makes up a bigger chunk of my wardrobe than the cool tone shades. But this time round, I thought I would style it with a grey knit and black trousers just to have a play around and see how it would look with cooler tones. As it turns out, I actually really like this bag styled with grey because it is a cooler tone and it's also a little bit less harsh than some really dark colours like black, which is how I have styled this bag in the past. I also think that it's kind of exciting that even though I've had this bag since 2018, I'm still learning about how to style it and figuring out new combinations that I haven't worn before. So that's kind of exciting, and this is a combination that I would love to wear one day. My sixth piece is this Sandro blazer. This is a plaid blazer which I got at the end of 2019. Because I wear this blazer quite a lot and because I style it in a ton of my videos, I really thought it would be a challenge to think of a new way to wear it. So I looked back at my photos and I found this photo where I styled it with some cropped trousers that were in a slightly wider silhouette. I started off loving them, and then what happened was that they started to get shorter and shorter and shorter as the bottom hem frayed more. The way I styled these trousers is probably in defiance of a lot of fashion rules, where I styled this slightly oversized blazer with a pair of wider jeans as well. I know it's a lot of wide pieces, but it reflects a shift in my style where last year I preferred my shorter wide trousers, where this year I prefer the wide trousers in a full length. And that's not to say I don't like the crop versions. I still like the 7/8 pants, but I'm embracing the full length as well. Even though the silhouette of this outfit I know is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, I really genuinely feel excited to wear it because it just is a bit different. It's been a while since I feel like I've experimented with a blazer look. Most of my blazer looks are exactly the same, and it's nice to challenge that and go for something that feels outside of my comfort zone. As you can see with the blazer, all I'm doing to make it feel more like my personal style today is changing up the silhouette of one item. The next item is this little Isabel Marant Etoile skirt, and this is only just over a year old. The reason why I wanted to include this skirt in this video was that I saw a few photos and videos of me styling this skirt, and I feel like I wasn't doing it justice in the way I was styling it. Let's start with the original photo, and you can see that it's kind of a busy outfit, and once again, it just doesn't make sense to me anymore. I styled this skirt with a pair of bright pink rock stud shoes, which are very loud, and this skirt is kind of, you know, quite loud, and I feel like it's a bit much. And to top it off, we've got this little straw Loewe bag. It's got a lot of things going on. It's both straw, it's got the logo kind of patch on the front, it's got the brown, which doesn't really make sense with the pink and the skirt. The first thing I did to simplify it was that I changed the shoes, and I went for some simple black sock boots. In terms of the knit, I went for something a little bit lighter and less chunky. This outfit was a step in the right direction, but I still feel like it didn't reflect my personal style. It felt a little bit too, maybe trendy is the word, the sock boots and the skirt. I wanted something to make it feel a bit more classic and chic. Next up, I added a navy coat over the top. The coat is really long and drapey. Once again, a step in the right direction, but not quite right. In my third attempt, I feel like I got it right and figured out something that was aligned to my personal style. I wouldn't normally consider the test bag trendy, but when you're mixing it with sock boots and this printed skirt, it just felt a bit much. So I took out the test bag and I went for a little kafuni green bag instead. And then to finish it off, I also added a green scarf. So it was the Anniversary scarf. The reason why these two changes made a difference is that we're playing around with jewel tones now with the green as well as the pattern on the skirt, and I feel like these deeper, richer colours just look really elegant together. The other thing was that the scarf made this look feel a bit more timeless, a bit more elegant, which is what I wanted because previously it just felt a little bit too trendy for what I consider my personal style. One thing you can take away for your own wardrobe is look at the balance between statement trendy pieces as well as classic pieces. I usually like to have a good mix of the two, but what was happening in this outfit was that there were too many trends and I really needed to balance these two out a little bit for it to feel more aligned to my style. Next up we have this green blouse from Cezanne. This one was from the fall collection last year, so I've had it for about a year now, and I'm kind of looking at how I can restyle it into something that feels a bit different. One thing that I really liked to wear last year were white trousers. I will always really enjoy a white or cream trouser, but last year I just wore it with absolutely everything across the seasons. So that being said, I wanted to experiment with a slightly darker color palette when styling this piece. I decided to tuck it into my little navy Anniversary skirt. This item is definitely a cheat because this was definitely within the year. I went for the skirt because I just really like the navy paired with this color. I also styled it with the Isabel Marant Dicker boots, which I really enjoy the style of, but they're also a little bit hard to style. I felt like it worked really well with this outfit and I went for it. Going off the 3-color rule, I decided to reach for a black bag for a little bit of contrast because I felt like if I reached for a green bag or a beige bag, it felt too similar to the top and shoe color, whereas the black was just a nice bit of contrast to add more depth to the look. In outfit A, I can't say that it is 100% my personal style. I think I really just wanted to play around and come up with something new. If I was to style it in a way that felt more me, I probably would have worn it with a pair of navy trousers and then with some simple black boots, but there are a lot of other looks where I did that, so I wanted to show you something different. For my next item, I've got this khaki knit and it's got these two ruffles. It's in a cotton material. This one I've had for about a year and a half, I believe under 2 years. Even though I really like this knit, I wouldn't say I really like some of the outfits that I've created with it. So I want to change that in this video. One thing I've spoken a lot about this year is texture. This is the type of outfit that I've really gotten into wearing this year, where we've got something really frilly and feminine on top, and then we've got some heavier kind of textures on the bottom that helps toughen it up a little bit. These corduroy trousers that I wear are also an older piece in my wardrobe that I've had for about 3 years or so. They're just such a good classic to own. I think in past years, I relied a lot more on color and on prints to make my outfits more interesting. And one of the things I've done more of this year is to focus on texture instead. On one hand, it is a more subtle approach, but on the other hand, it can also make a big difference when you start combining different textures. It can actually create quite an impact as well. If you're figuring out some new outfits with your wardrobe, one of the things you can do is that instead of focusing on the color and the print of pieces, you can actually instead focus on the texture. So silk, linen, knitwear, leather. You can focus on these textures instead to create interesting and new outfits that align with your style. My final item is a black dress from Another Stories. It's got this fleece kind of material to it. When I first got it, I didn't really style it very much. I just kind of wore it by itself, maybe with sneakers, really simple pieces, and to be honest, it was a little bit boring. I don't even have a photo of how I used to style it because I think it wasn't inspiring enough for me to even bother taking the photo. When I style it now, it's still not overly complicated, but I do like to layer up on the jewelry to make it feel more interesting. I've always worn and loved jewelry, but lately I've done a bit more experimenting when it comes to my jewelry, whereas previously I just kind of wore the same chains all the time. So in this outfit, I put on this really chunky rose gold necklace with a pearl and green stone detail, and I feel like this was the main statement of the outfit. To finish it off, I also have some of my daily rings. Quite a few of these are antique rings, and I've also got this chunkier one on the pointer finger. I think that this dress is really lovely, but at the same time, if you don't accessorize it, it can feel a little bit boring. So I'm really enjoying using my accessories to make this outfit feel a little bit more interesting and complete. I also like using jewelry to make it feel slightly different every time I wear it. Otherwise, it's one of those pieces that do feel and look the same every time. Those are my 10 examples of how I'm updating my style without purchasing anything new. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I always love making these videos myself because it serves as a very good reminder that our clothes are very versatile and we just need to restyle and think creatively to make them work for us. As always, if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to go hit the like button down below. And if you're interested in seeing weekly fashion content similar to what you saw today, I would love for you to go and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.